think it's really important from a talkSPORT and sport point of view that the brands remain separate in terms of the consumer point of view. What we're trying to achieve though is a very joined up way of thinking from a editorial in terms of back office and commercial point of view. So when we go to market from a commercial point of view, they work very closely together, but from a consumer point of view, we don't over cross promote. Sport is much more ABC1 and a bit more niche than talkSPORT. In particular the sports it represents, so it's very big in Olympics, it can handle things like swimming and cycling very well, whereas talkSPORT is much bigger, 3.2 million listeners, and from that perspective it sets the sporting agenda, which tends to rotate a lot more around football and football centric sports. So 2012, as we're billing it, hashtag our year of sport, it is an amazing opportunity to work in a sports media business in 2012 is like a gift from heaven. It's the perfect storm from us. We're in a situation where England, thank God, have qualified for Euro 2012. So our year will begin very early. The draw is in December, and from that point on, our year of sport begins. We have the end of our Premier League season, which is obviously massively important from a talkSPORT perspective, and rights have been ever more important. So we have the two live packages now that are unique to us in commercial radio, the late kick-off Saturday, the early kick-off Sunday. This will build us up to Euro 2012, which kicks off in June and runs all the way through to July, and then we segue 2 weeks later into the August Olympics. talkSPORT will drive the Euro 2012 conversation, I think, for clients and the consumer point of view, whereas sport is much more about the Olympic conversation. So the talkSPORT model has evolved. talkSPORT is 10 years old now, and where initially we set out, it is a great concept and it's a great brand. We've worked very hard. The programme director Mosdi has worked very hard on editorial credibility. So that started with the talent that we have on air. So if you look at the plethora of presenters that we have now, from our breakfast show, stalwart Alan Brazil, but if you see how we've upped our game with Richard Keys, Andy Gray, through to the kind of unique talent that we have that delivers our live sports broadcast. Sam Matterface joined us from Sky. We have Stan Collymore, who runs the best national phone in the country. All of that has been underpinned with an investment in rights. So Sport Magazine has had its first refresh. Sport Magazine has been within the UTV portfolio for 2.5 years now. It's 5 years old as a magazine, and it's time to have a look at the way the look and feel of that magazine. So we work quite hard on making a contemporary look, but the most important thing that you touched on is the redesign. The masthead logo has been redesigned to give us the opportunity to extend into digital platforms and also on a worldwide basis. I think social media is a massively important thing for our brands, particularly on the talkSPORT side. And I kind of always draw reference to the fact that talkSPORT is a national radio station on an AM frequency, but it was the original user-generated content platform. So yes, it may not be seen as dynamic as some of the digital innovation that's been in the last couple of years, but we have a very engaged audience that will communicate with the station, with the talent and with the content on a regular basis. So whereas postcards were very last century, that then culminated in texts and emails to the studio, and that's now taken a natural transition through to Twitter.